yati paramam gatim.
After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach these spiritual planets.
Very bold. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, will certainly reach the spiritual planets. So Krishna is explaining about the yoga practice, in which the yogis, they meditate upon the pranava mantra, that is the sacred syllable Om. It is clearly stated here that Om, Brahman and Lord Krishna are not different. The impersonal sound of Krishna is Om, but the sound Hare Krishna contains Om. Chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is clearly recommended for this age. So if one quits his body at the end of life chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he certainly reaches one of the spiritual planets according to the mode of his practice. The devotees of Krishna enter the Krishna planet, Goloka Vrindavana. For the personalists, there are also innumerable other planets known as Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, whereas the impersonalists remain in the Brahmajyoti. So it depends. The destination of the practitioner depends, what is the goal of their life, what is the attitude of their, praying. If they think that Lord has spiritual abode like Vaikuntha, Goloka, and Lord has a form, definitely the destination, even though they are meditating on Om, they will reach the spiritual planets. If they meditate on Om, thinking that Lord is impersonal, they will not attain the personal abode of the Supreme Lord. It's very clear. So for the personalists, there are also innumerable other planets known as Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual, whereas the impersonalists remain in the Brahmajyoti. So what is our conception of the Supreme Lord? So that will be the ultimate destination for the practitioner of yoga. So Om is nothing but the pranava mantra, is the sound incarnation of Supreme Personality of God. So in Hare Krishna mantra, the Om is also included. So separately, we don't have to add Om. And this is the recommended mantra in the age of Kali. So that is what Prabhupada says. Okay, so any questions, any further questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dana pranam.
Prabhuji, here the Prabhupada saying this Hare Krishna Mahamantra also contains Om. How,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we can explain this?
Because Hare Krishna is inclusive of everything, no? Om comes from Krishna.
Oh.
Okay, Krishna is the reservoir of everything. The sound incarnation is Krishna. The Om is the sound incarnation of Krishna. He is the source of everything. So Om is already there. Okay. So,
Okay,
but Om is a secondary name. Krishna is a primary name. This is what we understand. So the Mukhya Nama and Gauna Nama. So Krishna, when we say, that's why when we pray to Krishna, everybody else is included.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the difference.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Madaji.
Prabhu, even Brahma, when he did the meditation to find out who is the supreme or from where he came, so Brahma also chanted the Om mantra, or he did chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya?
No. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, because he was also not sure his source and what was the purpose of his creation. So he got a Ashariri, Akashvani, celestial voice to do tapa. And to his heart, the Lord has imparted the 4 seed slokas of Bhagavatam. Okay. In Bhagavatam also, there is a Chadur Shloki. Okay. That he has this thing. So he was also meditating on the Supreme Lord as a Bhagavan, not as Brahmajyoti. So from that 4 sloka, it is elaborated and everything is there. So it contains that 4 sloka, the Chatur Shloki of Bhagavatam contains everything. that is a crux of everything. It's the essence of everything. Just like if we ask, what is the Chaturshudha, the essence of everything in Bhagavad Gita, there are 10 point, 8, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Aham sarvasya prabhu mathas sarvam pravartede iti matva bhajande mam buddha bhava samanvidha matchitta matkada prana bodhayanda parasparam kadayandasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Then tesham sadadayuktanam bhajadam viridi purvakam dadami buddhi yogantam enamam upayandide tesham yamanukampartam ahamatjnanajam tamaga jnanayami. What is that? Nasyami atma bhavastu. What is the last line?
Jnana-deepena
Paswada. Okay. This four, the Chaturshloki. This is the essence of the. Similarly in Bhagavatam. So Brahma was not in person, by through the celestial voice was told to do tapa. That means austerity. So into the heart of Brahma, he has imparted all the knowledge. So in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. It's a Adi Kavi, means the first living entity. So it was just transformed, or I mean, given. Okay, was just given this four into his heart, transferred the whole knowledge. Then he was given this knowledge to do the sub-creation. So this is how it is. So when he came to this material world, when he was created, he never knew who he was, what was the purpose of creation, the source of his creation, and he went down through the stem of that lotus on which he was given birth or taken birth. And for thousands and thousands of celestial years, he tried to find out the cause of his creation and everything, but unfortunately, he was unsuccessful. But then Lord has imparted this right knowledge into his heart, and he also told him to do austerity. So he again meditated for thousands of celestial years or whatever it is. Then he got enlightened. He got the power to sub-create. So this is how it is. Okay, Maji? Anything else? Sri Hari Kirtan Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So shall we move to the next? Okay, text 14. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityasa tasyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yoginam. Parag Prabhu and Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Ananya cheta satatam yomam ismarati nityashah tasya aham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yoginah.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji translation. For one who always remember me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pratha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pratha, because of this his constant engagement in devotional service. So those who remembers him always without deviation, but our remembering Lord Krishna is not, single focused. If we become that focused, then it is easy for us to attain. Because ours is a lot of deviation. We have a lot of doubts still. Can Krishna help me? Will Krishna help me? Will Krishna make me perfect? Or should I go to that Lord or this God, that God, or should I do that? So a lot of still confusion is there for many of us. Because we don't have that unflinching faith in Krishna's protection. That's why people are, especially when we face some calamities in our life, then if you don't have that firm conviction in the protection of Lord Krishna, we also, sometimes get perplexed. People will say, what happened? You have been telling Krishna will protect you. now you are undergoing this calamity, this problem. Where is your Krishna? If if you had gone to that Lord or this God, they should have helped you. Now what happened? So what usually we should do in that case?
We should say, Prabhuji, Krishna is giving us what is best for us this point of time. We should have full faith in that.
Yeah, we should have the 100% faith, because even Krishna is giving the empowerment to other gods. It's very clear. Without his knowledge, without his empowerment, others also cannot do anything. So that's why we should have that complete conviction that Krishna is a protector. That is Rakhe Mare Krishna Ke. What is that? Krishna Mare Rakhe Ke. If Krishna wants to protect somebody, nobody can kill. If Krishna wants to kill somebody, nobody can protect. So this unflinching faith is a must. So that's only then we will be able to pray or remember him without any deviation. In that case, is easy to obtain. Or if you are not focused, then definitely Krishna will not be able to do anything. So this verse especially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotees who serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti Yoga. Previous verses have mentioned 4 different kinds of devotees: the distressed, the inquisitive, those who seek material gain, and the speculative philosophers. So this is mainly for the devotees who have that unflinching faith and conviction on Krishna's instructions. It's not for the people who are in distressed condition, inquisitive, and who are seeking for material gain, and the jnanis, philosophers. Different processes of liberation have also been described: karma yoga, jnana yoga, and hatha yoga. The principles of these yoga systems have some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure bhakti yoga. So in every yoga there's an element of bhakti in every yoga, but this is exclusive bhakti yoga only for the pure devotional service. They don't give importance to the other, because that is the topmost yoga recommended by Krishna. So the principle bhakti yoga without any mixture of jnana, karma, or hatha. Okay. So but that even Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrasa Sindhu, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavradam anukulyana krishnanushilanam bhakti rutam. Anya abhilasha. Okay, no other abhilasha except totally concentrating, focusing on Krishna. Jnana karma adi. We should not be influenced by this jnana, karma, etc. of other processes. We should have that pure devotional service only for Krishna. That's why time and again in scriptures we can find that ananyas chindayanto mam yejana paripasade tesham nityabhyuktanam yogatshemam maham. Ananyas chinta, ananya bhakti. It's not mixed bhakti, not sakama bhakti, nishkama bhakti. Lord Krishna is the original, he is the source of everything, and he is everything. Ananya bhakti. Okay. Sarva dharman parityajyam mam ekam sharanam raja. Isn't it? So wherever it is all said, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, of all the type of worship, the worship of Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva says, Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param. So everything leads ultimately to Lord Krishna only. So understanding that, we should also have that conviction and in unflinching faith and focus only on Krishna. It's not that we are neglecting other gods. We know their position as exalted devotees, dependent on Krishna. They are not independent, they are dependent on Krishna. But we should never think that they are equal to us. They're all very, very exalted devotees. We should always respect them, okay, as the empowered representative of Lord Krishna. Should never belittle, even for that matter, not even an ant we should neglect. Okay, we should disrespect. So what to speak of demigods who are on the higher platform, an exalted position. So we have to understand the things in the right perspective. Krishna is all inclusive, but Brahma is not all inclusive. Brahma is dependent on Krishna. But at the same time, we should understand that he is not equal or above Krishna. This, if you understand the right perspective, there will be no confusion. So all other processes are not as good as the Bhakti Yoga. There are other yogas, okay, but Bhakti Yoga is the topmost yoga that one has to inculcate and imbibe. As indicated by the word Ananya Chetaha, in pure Bhakti Yoga, the devotee desires nothing but Krishna. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to heavenly planets, nor does he seek oneness with the Brahma Jyotir or salvation or liberation from eternal entanglement. Okay, the pure devotee's destination is fixed. He wants to go to the topmost abode and serve Supreme Lord, unconditionally. A pure devotee does not desire anything. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pure devotee is called Nishkama, which means he has no desire for self-interest. Perfect peace belongs to him alone, not to them who survive for personal gain. Whereas a Jnana Yogi, Karma Yogi, or Atha Yogi has his own selfish interest. Perfect devotee has no desire other than to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord says that for anyone who is unflinchingly devoted to him, he is easy to attain. Okay, we are all called Kim Kara. Kim Kara means what can I do for you? Kim Kara. Okay, that means how can I serve you? What can I do for you? Because we are the servants of the Supreme Lord. We are not masters. So what is the duty of the servant? To please the master. Even in the material world, that is it, right? So when we please the master, even in the material world, when we please a material master, what do we get in return? We get whatever is required for our sustenance, isn't it? Similarly, when we serve the Supreme Master, the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a servant to his satisfaction, whatever is required, he will also award. So we are never independent. We are not master. We are just servant. So a pure devotee always engages in devotional service to Krishna in one of his various personal features. Krishna has various plenary expansions and incarnations, such as Rama and Narasimha, and the devotee can choose to fix his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so the pure devotee of the Lord always engage in devotional service. They have different Ishtadevadas, different features, different forms. So you can choose according to our taste any one form. It has Rama, Krishna, Narasimha, and so on and so forth. So all same person in different forms. That's all. So we can pray to any of these forms. Okay, but original form is, we have to understand, that is Krishna. Such a devotee meets with none of the problems that plague the practitioners of other yogas. Bhakti yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. One can begin simply by chanting Hare Krishna. So we don't have to make it complex. Doing this yatnya, doing that yatnya, chanting this mantra, that mantra, and we don't know how to pronounce it properly. It's a very simple process for us. In the age of Kali, Lord Krishna has made it very simple for us because he knows very well our disqualifications, what we are up to, what we can do. So accordingly, he has simplified the Bhakti Yoga. Simply chant sincerely Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Sincerity is there, then rest Lord will take care. So this is what is required minimum. Okay, all our improvement, our advancement depends on our sincerity of chanting. So this is required. So the Lord is merciful to all, but as we have already explained, he is especially inclined toward those who always serve him without deviation. The Lord helps such devotees in various ways. As stated in the Vedas, Kathopanishads, Yam evaiva vrunute tena dabhyas tasyesha atma vivrunute tanum swam. One who is fully surrendered and engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord can understand the Supreme Lord as he is. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, the Lord gives such a devotee sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain him in his spiritual kingdom. So Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yanamam Poyanti. So if we have that unflinching faith and if we commit ourselves in worshipping the Supreme Lord, He will give us the intelligence that is required. Lord says that Dadami Buddhi Yogam Yanamam Upayanti. So this is also there. And the special qualification of the pure devotee is that it's always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere at any time. Can Farah Prabhu or anybody can you please call Jubi Mataji also into the session if she is not there? To attend this session.
Okay, Prabhuji, I will call.
The special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in holy places like Vrindavana or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavana by his devotional service. It was Sri Advaita who told Lord Chaitanya, wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavana. So the devotees, okay, carry the dham along with them. So wherever they go, they manifest the dham at that place. That is, that is Advaita Acharya told, Mahaprabhu, that wherever you are, Lord, there is Vrindavana. So it's not that, yes, there is a place called Vrindavana, that's a holy dham, we know it. But the devotees can carry that Vrindavana into wherever they go. Just like Prabhupada, when he left India from Vrindavana, he took Vrindavana into America, then into all other parts of the world, Vrindavana, Jagannath Puri, all these dham he has taken along with him. That's how Jagannath, Baldev, Sudramayi, and Sudarshana manifested their pastimes there by means of Rath Yatra. Otherwise, before Prabhupada, nobody could do that because it was confined to only Orissa, Jagannath Rath Yatra. It is just Prabhupada's mercy. He has given this Jagannath Rath Yatra to every nook and corner of the world. Previously, only in Jagannath Puri, the Rath Yatra used to take place. Prabhupada took it around the world. Now everywhere Rath Yatra is taking place. So wherever pure devotees go, they carry along with them the dham also. As indicated by the words Satatam and Nityasaha, which mean always, regularly, or every day, a pure devotee constantly remembers Krishna and meditates upon him. These are qualifications of the pure devotee for whom the Lord is most easily attainable. Bhakti Yoga is a system that the Gita recommends above all others. Generally, the Bhakti Yogis are engaged in 5 different ways. Shanta Bhakta, engaged in devotional service in neutrality. Dasya Bhakta, engaged in devotional service as servant. Sakhya Bhakta, engaged as friend. Vasalya Bhakta, engaged as parent. And Madhurya Bhakta, engaged as conjugal lover of the Supreme Lord. In any of these ways, the pure devotee is always constantly engaged in the transcendent loving service of Supreme Lord and cannot forget the Supreme Lord. And so for him, the Lord is easily attained. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment. And similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget his pure devotee for a moment. This is the great blessing of the Krishna conscious process of chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, as it is, as we all know, there are 5 different mellows with, for us to have relationship with the Supreme Lord. Okay, that's Shantarasa, Dasarasa, Sakhirasa, Vasalarasa, and Madhurasa. So a devotee can relate with the Supreme Lord in any of the rasas in the devotional service in Bhakti Yoga. So any other points? Any points or any comments?
Hare Krishna,
Yes, Swami.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
We reach Juvi Mataji, Prabhuji. Santosh Prabhu is admitted in the hospital, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I know it.
Okay. Juvi Mataji is joining, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Because that's why, because she's worried there, she's sitting there. At least let her listen to this. So she deviated, from that thing.
Okay.
For that purpose
So
only.
which hospital Prabhuji is admitted?
And Altraba.
The government one.
Yeah. Just one second, Prabhuji, 1 second. Okay. So any other points? Jiveshri Madaji is here already. Okay. Any other points from this? Nothing? Then we'll go to the next. Mam upetya punarjanma dhukalayam shashwatam napnu vandi mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. Okay. Okay. Radha Madaji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mamupetyya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvandi mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gadaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Deeptimati Madaji, translation please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams.
Dana Pranam.
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection.
Very good. So Lord Krishna, gives a guarantee that after attaining me, that means after attaining the supreme abode of Lord Krishna, the great souls who are yogis in devotion, okay, the great souls who are doing different types of yoga, whichever yoga it is, never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. The highest perfection is the supreme abode of Lord Krishna, the Vaikuntha planets and Goloka, etc. But here he is not talking about the attainment of Brahma Jyoti. Apart from that, whoever have this conception that Lord is a person, they will attain the supreme abode of Lord, Vaikunthas or Golaka Vrindavana. And once they attain, they will never come back against to this material world, which is full of miseries. So since this temporary material world is full of miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death, naturally he who achieves the highest perfection and attains the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavana, does not wish to return. The supreme planet is described in Vedic literature as Avyakta and Akshara and Paramam Gati. In other words, the planet is beyond our material vision and it is inexplicable, but it is the highest goal, the destination for the Mahatma's great souls. So here, the supreme abode is described how? As Avyakta and Akshara and Paramagati. So from this word Avyakta, they will misinterpret the philosophy. I mean, those who are following the Mayavada philosophy that means Avyakta means we cannot see that there is no such. It's no means everything is vague. It means that it is Avyakta to our material eyes. With our material eyes or perception, we cannot see. To see that, we should have a spiritual vision. So that is Avyakta. Akshara, it is undestructible. Okay. Paramagati means that is a supreme destination. So this is how they sometimes misinterpret. Avyakta means, so there is no, avyakta means there is no form. Lord is avyakta means he is not a person. Vyakta means it can be seen, and from vyakta comes vyakti. So avyakta means doesn't have a form. So they will misinterpret in that way that Lord is avyakta, that means Lord has no form. So when he comes to this material world, just to facilitate us to see him, he take a form. Otherwise, is formless. You got it? This is how they misinterpret. But here avyakta means is, for us is avyakta because we cannot see a spiritual person with our material senses. That is what it means. He is nirguna means he has no material quality. It doesn't mean that he has no transcendental quality. He says, Janma karma cha me divyam. His birth, his activities are divyam. Divyam means transcendental, okay, which we cannot perceive with our blunt senses. Only when we purify ourselves, we will be able to see that. Just like in the Kurukshetra war, Sanjaya was given a blessing by Vyasadeva to see the Kurukshetra war. Okay, the Dhritarashtra could not see, although he was given the facility, he refused. So it was given to Sanjaya, and Sanjaya could relay whatever was happening in Kurukshetra. So because he was given a spiritual vision, a particular vision to see that sitting in Hastinapura. Similarly, we also should have a spiritual vision to see that spiritual personality. So with our material vision, we will not be able to see the spiritual person. So avyakta to our eyes, but it doesn't mean that he has no form. Nirguna means he has no material quality. Like that. So this is what the right understanding. So the Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees and thus gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed in transcendental service that they no longer desire elevation to any of the material planets. Nor do they even want to be transferred to any spiritual planet. They only want Krishna and Krishna's association, nothing else. That is the highest perfection of life. This verse specifically mentioned the personalist devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. These devotees in Krishna consciousness achieve the higher perfection of life. In other words, they are the supreme souls. Okay. So here further, the Mahatmas receive transcendental from the realized devotees and thus gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed transcendental that they no longer desire elevation to any material planets, nor do they even want to be transferred to the spiritual planet. So how do we understand this? So the pure devotees of the Lord gets the pure devotees of the Lord, goes to the spiritual planet, but the pure devotees even doesn't desire that. Even if we are putting hellish condition, no problem. We have to serve the Supreme Lord. So that is the ultimate perfection. The ultimate perfection is not that going to Goloka or going to Vaikuntha. The ultimate perfection of a pure devotee of the Lord is to render service in whatever way the Lord wants us to do. So Lord may depute such devotees into the material world. Okay. Such devotees, the pure devotees comes here as ambassador into this material world to elevate or to purify the fallen conditioned soul like us. So they are deputed even to hellish planets to take charge of the superintendent of the hell, just like Yamaraj. So that is pure devotees of the Lord take up any service. The only motive is that they want to serve the Supreme Lord birth after birth as the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So this is the status of the pure devotees. So any comments or any? No, that verse is that na dhanam na janam na sundarim. Na Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying that. I don't want anything. I just want to serve you birth after birth. No, this is the position of a pure devotee. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exhibiting for us to understand to make us that mood in the prayer. Okay, ultimately we all want to get liberated. Okay, this is our desire. We should go out of this material miseries. But this is the condition of the pure devotees. That is what Prabhupada gives in this purport. So any comments or
Hare Krishna,
questions?
Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, like that Bhagavata sloka, Narayana para sarvena, kudastana pipyati, swarga apavarga nargesho abhitulyata darshanaha.
Yes. Like that. So Narayana is everything. Apavarga. Okay, we can get out of this, what you call pavarga, and go get liberated from this material existence. So text 16 is a very good shloka. A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mam Upetya tu Kaunteya Punar Janmana Vidyade. Okay. Jiveshri Mataji, can you please recite this? Okay, you are there? Okay. Jiveshri Mataji, are you there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am here. 1 minute, Prabhu.
Can you please recite this?
Brahma bhuvandi loge punar avadaro arjuna mam ubayedu tu kaunteya punar janmana vidyade.
Very bold. Translation, you want to read, please?
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attained to my abode, O son of Kundi, never takes birth again.
Very bold. So, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kundi, never takes birth again. It's a guaranteed. He's promising all of us, from the topmost planet of Brahmaloka to the lowest to the Padala, all are places of misery. We think that we are getting some sort of happiness, but ultimately, everything ends in misery only. It's a places of misery, but sometimes we may get some, like that. But why it is misery? It is a repeated birth and death take place. That is misery. Okay? There is no stop. We are taking birth, we are dying. We are again taking birth, we are dying again. So this is an ongoing process in this material world, whether we are in the Brahmaloka or whether we are in the Pataloka. There is a beginning, there is an end. Again, there is a beginning, there is an end. So as long as we are placed in this material world, this cycle keeps going. This vicious cycle of birth and death keeps going. But once we get elevated from this material world to the spiritual world, it is not the case. We don't have to change the bodies. There's nothing that miseries. It's a place called Vaikunda. That means without any anxiety or without any miseries. So our ultimate aim is to attain that, because from time immemorial we have been undergoing this vicious cycle of birth and death. So we have to make a full stop of this business. That's why the Bhakti Yoga is recommended for all of us, especially in the age of Kali. So all kinds of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection in Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Those who attain the higher material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. So it's clear. Even if you go to the higher planets within the material world, we are subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indraloka fall down to earth. The practice of sacrifice called Panchagni Vidya, recommended in the Chandogya Upanishad, enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to the higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baladeva Vidyabhushana in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita quotes this verse. Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte pratisanchare parasyante kritatmana pravishanti parampadam. When there is devastation of this material universe, Brahma and the devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transformed to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planet according to that desire. So those who are in the higher planetary system, if they are doing devotional service, Krishna consciousness, always without any material desires, they at the end of the universal destruction, they will get to the abode of Paramdham, that is supreme abode of Lord Krishna. So such is very rare. Most of us are, those who are doing karma yoga. What they are doing for more and more material benefits. So they have to come down. But in the higher planetary system, if they cultivate more and more devotional service, and if they don't have any tinge of material aspirations or desires, they will definitely, but it takes, the duration for such is very vast. Whereas when we come down to earth, it is easy. So from earth, it is easy because the duration is less. Whereas the duration, the higher planetary system is big in comparison to the duration of the earthly planet. So for us, it is easy because if we practice Krishna consciousness nicely, sincerely, so exit from earthly planet is easy. So that's one advantage for all of us. So any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madaji.
Prabhuji, what is the meaning of Hatha Yoga?
Hatha Yoga is some like Ashtanga Yoga only. So another name or another version of Hatha Yoga. I mean Ashtanga Yoga. Same.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
It's a Patanjali yoga system. They're practicing different yoga like Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. So any other points?
Prabhuji, Para Prabhu is saying Hatha Yoga is for women and Ashtanga Yoga for men.
I don't know about that, Madaji. I've never heard like that. Nothing like that.
I'm saying Prabhuji, the women are hatty, no? So that's why so hatty yoga for them.
So on a lighter note, Prabhuji is telling.
Yeah.
Don't take it for face value. Any other points? Okay, text 70. Sahasra yuga paryandam aharyad brahmano vidhu ratrim yuga sahasrantam teho ratra vido janaha. Yes. Who is Sachi Mataji? You read?
Yes, Prabhu, we read.
Okay, who else is there now? Sri Hari Kirtan Prabhu. Prabhuji, you are on mute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Sahasra
Yoga Paryantam Haryad Brahmano Viduhu Naritim Yogam Sahasrantam Tehoratra Vidu Jana.
Translation, please.
Yes, Prabhuji. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night.
Very good. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of it. Now, Krishna is telling what is the duration of Brahma's one day. Okay, so if anybody gets promoted to Brahma's planet, just imagine how many years we have to be there before we get elevated from his planet to the spiritual planet. So going from Brahma's planet is good, or going from earthly planet is good? Here, in the earthly calculation, after 100 years, we can get elevated to the spiritual abode. Only 100. So as per the earthly calculation, if one has to get elevated from Brahma's planet, just see, this is that duration. Let's see. The duration of the material universe is limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. Kalpa means one day of Brahma. And one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. Cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, and there being practically no ignorance and vice, and the yoga lasts 1,728,000 years. In Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts 1,296,000 years. In Dwapara Yuga, there is an even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this yuga lasts 864,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there's an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non-existent. And this yuga lasts 432,000 years. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as Kalki Avatara, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satyuga. Then the process is set rolling again. These 4 yugas, rotating 1,000 times, comprise one day of Brahma, and the same number comprise one night. Brahma lives 100 of such years and then dies. These 100 years by earth calculation total to 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. By this calculation of life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as a lightning flash. In the causal ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux. So now, when you go home, read this again, understand what is one day of Brahma. When you go home, you are at home only, right? After the class, yes, go through this again, so you'll get an idea what is Brahma's one day and what is Brahma's one lifetime. And that one lifetime, which is 311 trillion 40 billion earthly years, is just a flash of second as calculated by eternity. From the viewpoint of eternity, it's as a lightning flash. Just imagine. So what is our condition? What is our lifetime? Even if you see, even that, the picture, if you see NASA's picture, if you see the Earth, not even a dot in this material universe. The position of Earth is not even a dot. That is Earth. So such gigantic, manifestation is material universe, and more than that, 3/4 of the total creation is in the spiritual world. So we can't even fathom. Like that it is. So in the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in the service of Supreme Lord in the management of this universe. Therefore, he at once attains liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahmaloka, which is the highest planet in the material universe and which survives all the heavenly planets in the upper strata of the planetary system. But in due course, Brahma and all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka are subject to death according to the law of material nature. Okay, so is it clear?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, so our acharyas have calculated this time in terms of material years. How is it, Prabhuji?
What is that? I didn't get you. What is the question, Mataji?
These years, how they have calculated, how we have got in our scriptures. Our acharyas, previous acharyas have calculated these years in material terms.
Yes, This is already given in Shastra and they have given in elaborate details. And this is here itself it is here Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vido Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. So what is Sahasra Yuga? We know what is Kali Yuga, what is Dwapara Yuga, what is Treta Yuga, what is Satya Yuga. We know that duration. So just calculate, and there they have given it. And Prabhupada has very nicely given in the purport how this is coming to 311 trillion 40 billion years. So it is there from the Shastra, they have given it, for understand. So this is earthly calculation.
Yes, Prabhuji.
For us to understand.
Yes, Prabhuji, because you just said the spiritual time is like a flash.
Yeah, it's a flash.
Whatever. Yeah.
Flash of
So it is
lightning.
very difficult to understand in comparison to the earthly timing.
Yeah, that's why Prabhupada has given very nicely, this so that we can understand in our terms.
Yes, Prabhuji. Still, it is all this trillion and all is very difficult to contemplate.
Just to make us understand, this is so huge.
Yeah, true, Prabhuji.
Very difficult.
Thank you, thank you.
Where are we in comparison to Brahma's lifetime? Our lifetime is nothing.
Yes,
and
Prabhuji.
that also, and that Brahma is just like the waves in the ocean or bubbles in the ocean, comes and goes. That Brahma, who has got 311 trillion 40 billion Earth years lifetime, at that Brahma's duration of life is just like the bubbles in the ocean. So we can just imagine, rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic, isn't it? Yeah, in the coastal ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic.
Amazing.
So these are all, the real science only, but unfortunately, people will not accept it. They will consider this all as myth.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, any other points? So, are you clear about the Brahma's one day, how it is calculated? The total of 4 yuga multiplied by 1000. Okay, that is 1 day. That means 12 hours of Brahma. Such is night. So total means the Chatur Yuga multiplied by 2000 equal to 24 hours of Brahma. Okay, then multiply by 365 days, 1 year, and again 100. So that amounts to the lifetime of Brahma, that is 311 trillion 40 billion years. So everybody lives 100 years according to that their calculation, their life duration calculation. Brahma also live 100, but his 100 years is different than our 100 years. So text 18. Avyaktad vyaktaya sarva prabhavanti aharagame ratri agame praliyante tatreva vyakta samyake. Okay. Rajeshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Avyakta vyaktaya sarva prabhavasya haragame pratyagame praliyanti pratyavaka sanjakte.
Very good. Okay. Translation. Harinath, you are there?
At the beginning of
Okay,
Brahma's days, at the beginning of the Brahma days, all living entities become manifest from the
Unmanifest.
unmanifest state, and after when the night falls, they are migrated into the unmanifest again.
Very good. So at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. So this is how it is taken. So daytime, all the living entities. Okay. So at dawn, okay, morning, all the living entities are manifest. So we are all in deep slumber in the abdomen of Mahavishnu or Garbhodaya Vishnu, whichever Vishnu is. Okay. And when the day starts, again they are given bodies as per their karma and desires. Manifest, and when it is dusk, when night starts, again they become unmanifest. So this is going on, manifestation and manifestation, as long as we have desires and the karma with us. Once we make this desires and karma nil, zero, then we will not go, after the day, we will not go to the slumber again. We will get elevated to the spiritual planet, from where we will not come back. So this is those who are having still desires and balance of karma, good or bad, whatever it is. So at the beginning of Brahma's days, in the morning, we become manifest, all the living entities, and the duration, and at the end of Brahma's day, that is at night, will get unmanifest. So this prakriya, this activity keeps going again and again. Okay. So this is unmanifest and manifest. So any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhaji.
Unmanifested form, we are in the form of soul and with the mind,
Without
intelligence and false ego.
Yes, without any body, without any gross body, but
Yeah.
we are as is, we are deep slumber. Even Brahma is also sleeping. No activity there.
Okay.
And that unmanifestation, that night of Brahma is, as far as Vishnu is concerned, not even a fraction of second.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, the whole lifetime, 100 years of Brahma is equal to his exhalation. So when we breathe out, what is the time we take?
Few seconds.
Yeah. So that's all for Mahavishnu. So that is the lifetime of Brahma. Just that is 311 trillion 40 billion years. Just imagine from his, time calculation, from the, spiritual time calculation, whatever it is. So it is very difficult for us to understand. Just like, for example, material calculation, if you see, just see an ant.
Yeah.
Okay. An ant is also living 100 years, for example. An elephant is also living 100 years. Okay. We are also living 100 years. So what is in the perspective, from the perspective of an ant, what is the life of an elephant or a human being? So to make that ant understand, this is the lifespan of a human being, 100 years, this is like that. You just see yours is 100 years is 10 minutes. Okay, you multiply by 10,000 and multiply by 100,000. So how can you make the ant understand this lifespan?
Yeah,
Very difficult.
Bewildered.
So like that, maximum possible, our acharya is also making us or trying to make us understand this is how it is.
Yes,
Just
sir.
like we are also trying to make an ant understand, the perspective, in different perspective, how the human being's 100 years is so vast and huge in comparison to the ant's age.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, there are some living beings, they come into life and then within few hours they just die off.
Within seconds also.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
of the bacteria are, not even few hours.
Hours. Correct, Prabhuji.
So from their perspective, if they say that human being is living 100 years and this is a calculation, 1 day, then 30 days, 1 month, then 12 months, 1 year, like that there is, and 100 years, that calculation, if we try to make them understand, will they understand?
Yeah, it's very difficult to digest.
Yeah, difficult to digest. So everything is relative.
Yes, Prabhuji.
In this material, everything is relative. So text 19. Bhudagrama sa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratri agame vasha partha prabhavanti haragame. Yes, Parag Prabhu and Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
भूतग्रामा स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यगमे अवशः पार्थ प्रभवत्या अहरागमे.
Hare Krishna translation. Again and again, when Brahma's days arrived, all the living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly inherited.
Very good. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. So daytime we are alive, nighttime we are again and manifest. So the less intelligent who try to remain within this material world may be elevated to higher planets, and then again must come down to this planet Earth. During the daytime of Brahma, they can exhibit their activities on higher and lower planets within this material world, but at the coming of Brahma's night, they're all annihilated. In the day, they receive various bodies for material activities, and at night, they no longer have bodies but remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Just like, you know, we are doing so many activities daytime. Okay, at night, what do? Sleep. Do we know our existence? Do we know that I am a human being or I have a family? You know, I am an American, I am an Indian. Do we know that? When we are asleep?
No.
We don't know. It is exactly like that. So when the night of Brahma comes, we are unmanifest. We don't know who we are totally. And again, just like how in the morning, you know, by the rising of sun, we also tend to get up from the sleep. So this is happening in a universal scale. We have to understand that. And so at night, where do we go? We remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Then again, they are manifest at the arrival of Brahma's day. Brahma is also sleeping. We are also sleeping. And daytime, we get up, Brahma get up, we get up. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. During the day, they become manifest, and at night, they are annihilated again. Ultimately, when Brahma's life is finished, they're all annihilated and remain unmanifest for millions and millions of years. And when Brahma is born again in another millennium, they are all again manifest. In this way, they are captivated by the spell of the material world. But those intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness use the human life fully in devotional service of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, they transfer themselves even in this life to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful. They are not being subject to such rebirths. So if you don't want to take rebirth again in this material world, you know, ours is the easy method, and this earthly planet is the best place to practice Krishna conscious activities, because within a short duration of time, we can attain that which is not attainable even the denizens who are on the higher planetary system. Such a simple method, such a short duration of time. So people, those who take advantage of that, they are the Buddhiman. They are the most intelligent people. So any comments or any questions? Haribol. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, fine Prabhuji.
Yes, fine. Okay. So I think it is, what's the time now?
8:38, Prabhuji.
8:30. So shall we stop here? Okay. We'll stop recording here.